I'm just sorry if I like butcher the names. Then the other name is like Vuyelwa. So all right. So maybe I would just confirm that they are
Seneliso here.
in the code of round, then sort of like comment. So maybe for the panelists, can you guys hear me? Can you just unmute, introduce yourself just by name, and then we could also have the participants too, and then we could actually have this kick started right away. So over to you, Seneliso. Seneliso. Kindly forgive me if I do like butcher the names. Yeah.
You said it correctly, Chair. Hi, everyone. I'm Seneliso. I'm going to be a panelist in this round.
All right, perfect. Then could we have the other panelists like introduce themselves, mention their name, just so we stop like butchering the names. It's Vuyelwa, right? So maybe you could like try to unmute and then kindly in a small introduction, yeah.
Hi everyone, my name is Vuyelwa, but people can just call me V. And yeah.
Perfect, then sure. All right. So maybe for starters, could we like have the rest of the teams introduce themselves? The team in affirmative, could we have like one person introduce the particular motion or round, rather? Could we have affirmative to like introduce themselves and confirm availability for the round that they're actually present?
Well, I would like to confirm attendance of the team affirmative. Yeah, we are around.
Perfect. And like confirm attendance.
My name is Ajuna Rajibe, first speaker, team up, and yes, our team is full and we are all in attendance.
So we have the first speaker team affirmative read to us the motion, just so we are all at par, and then we could just have them kickstart the motion at the same time. Rather, maybe from Joseph, could you like provide clarity on how much time each speaker is to have? And if we do have reply speeches themselves, like we have been doing earlier, like we have not been doing earlier in the preliminary rounds. So before the first speaker affirmative, like introduce themselves, like Joseph, could you like clarify on the time that we're using and if we're going to have reply speeches for the same, or we are following the like prior format? Right, perfect. Sure. All right. So let us have the first speaker, affirmative, read to us the motion, and then like kickstart the debate round right away.
Okay. The motion that we have states that. Let me see. Yeah, the motion that we have states that this house opposes the pressure to focus on promoting one's career at the expense of forming a family.
All right, perfect. We have negative confirmed, but that's the same motion they also have, just so we start. But like the first speaker, negative confirmed that.
Yes, we confirm it is the same.
All right, perfect. So affirmative one, you can kickstart your case. I would be doing your timing, but rest assured you're advised to like do your own timing from where you are. I would like only come in to interrupt in case ideally you have like gone beyond the time itself. So it's going to be 5 minutes for each particular speech and only 2 minutes for the reply speech. So whenever you are ready, affirmative one, you can start the debate here.
Okay, so Mr. Speaker, before I begin my speech, I would like to clearly say I'll be taking my POIs at the 1.5 minute mark. So before that, I do not expect any form of interruption or any form of disruption from team opposition. With that, my speech starts in 3, 2, and 1. So, panel, the motion that you are grappling with today states that this House opposes the pressure to focus on promoting one's career at the expense of forming a family. Panel, we are part of an opening government to then stand for this particular one that you're actually going to support within this debate. Three things then to begin this speech with. The first part of our model is just a picture of what we actually think this world then looks like. That is to say, on characterization, we think a family is the bedrock of an individual's life, providing things like emotional support, things like stability, and things like a sense of purpose then to a particular individual. But no, I would like us to then imagine the career journey as something that is actually long, something that's actually a challenging road in this particular debate. So along this road, a family then acts like a steady foundation that then anchors you when probably you're into things like stress, things like uncertainty, and things like fatigue within this particular debate then. So panel, they are the ones who then celebrate your victories, no matter how small, and actually offer things like comfort to actually face things like setbacks within a particular family. So panel, we think having a family then gives your career a deeper meaning. It transforms your work from merely a pursuit of things like personal success into something much larger, which is actually an effort to then provide for and actually protect the ones you actually love. These are probably people like your children, or probably your husband or wife, in whatever gender they actually belong to. So, panel, the sense of responsibility then fuels your drive and determination, then pushing you to actually strive for greater achievements, knowing that your efforts actually directly impact the well-being and the future of your family, and then adds a layer of commitment to your work that is actually hard to replicate. So now, panel, secondly, we think while careers actually span decades, evolving and changing as you keep on growing, families are actually something that's actually constant, because these particular families, they look like something that's actually a source of enduring relationships and unconditional support then for the particular family members. So a career is then built 3 years of hard work, 3 years of things like dedication, things like continuous learning, and whatever may actually be involved in this. So it is a long marathon, not merely a sprint, and like any long journey, it then requires things like sustenance, both emotional and psychological, that a family then uniquely provides in this particular debate. So panel, in contrast, we actually think while families also grow and change over time, they actually remain something that is actually central, something that is actually part of one individual's life. So we think family members are the people who then will always be there, no matter how your career then evolves. Whether you actually lose your job or you don't, we think family members are people who continuously be there. So they remind you that your worth is not solely defined by your job title or your achievements. Then you provide a counterbalance to often relentless demands of a particular career. So this enduring support is then crucial for maintaining one's resilience within a particular career then. So thirdly, panel, when you actually have a family, you gain a powerful motivator that drives you to perform better in your career. Knowing that your success directly benefits your loved ones pushes you then to excel. The presence of a family then brings things like structure and discipline into your life, which translates into better time management and a more focused approach in your work abilities. Secondly, though, panel, under this particular characterization, we also tell you that family responsibilities encourage you to develop skills like things like patience, things like empathy and problem solving, which are directly transferable into the workplace. These skills then make you a more effective leader, a more collaborative colleague, and a more innovative thinker. Partner, and the implication of this characterization, then, we tell you that if the characterization is true, then we should certainly win this debate. Now, panel, onto our argumentation. In our first argument, panel, on the risk of demographic decline and economic instability. But no, we actually think a society overly focused on things like career advancement at the expense of family formation then faces a significant risk of things like demographic decline, because as more individuals delay or forego having children due to things like career pressures, birth rates decrease, leading to an aging population and a shrinking workforce. This particular demographic imbalance then threatens things like long-term economic stability in a particular country, because fewer working age individuals are then available to support an increasing number of retirees, straining social security systems and things like public services. We think this problem then arises when societal values and economic incentives then push individuals to prioritize things like professional success over starting and raising a family. High cost of living, particularly in urban areas, this particular problem within society. We think opposing the pressure to prioritize career over family directly addresses the root causes of demographic decline by promoting policies that then make it easier and more desirable for individuals to then start families. This includes things like advocating for affordable childcare, things like parental leave, things like policies, things like housing assistance, and arrangements. By creating an environment where family is then supported and valued, more individuals are more likely or would be actually be encouraged to have children without fearing the loss of career opportunities. The end impact of all this is that a long-term impact would actually be a reversal or a demographic decline, leading to a more balanced age distribution and a stable population growth within a particular country. Within a particular country, then.
All right.
I'm proud to propose.
Yeah, we thank the first speaker of affirmative for that fine speech. Let us have the first speaker of negative to introduce negative's case. Yeah. We have the first speaker of negative, unmute and then advance negative's case.
First negative, can I confirm audibility, please?
You know, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 slowly. Yeah, can you do a countdown of 5 to 1 just so we are sure you are audible?
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, perfect. That's good enough. Whenever you are ready, please start.
All right, let me just start my timer. All right, I'm going to begin my speech in 3, 2, 1. Hello. In a fast-moving world with great global issues, we think that if we pressure these young, vibrant, brilliant, filled with potential young people to promote their careers before forming a family, we would then have a more productive and a more worthwhile world, right? What am I going to do for you in this debate? One, I'm going to recharacterize an emotion. I'm going to provide our side's burden of proof, but then I'm going to show you why then the pressure that we are going on focusing, promoting one's career is literally very necessary in this particular debate, right? And then I'm going to show you our side's trade-offs. But firstly, not that side proposition just came and jumped it into the debate without necessarily characterizing anything. So I'm going to do that for you, right? Okay. Now, what does that pressure look like, right? Actually, our pressure looks like one, society praising you for the things that you do, right? So we think that then if you have a career, right, and you advance in it, society is going to praise you. Then you have an incentive to actually keep on working hard and literally advancing more and focusing on your on your career, right? But then secondly, we have maybe the parents being very exquisitive, right? Like asking you about your how far you're going in with your career and your advancement and whatnot, and the media also praising your success. We think that if we are going to put all this together, then we are going to put pressure on these individuals, right, to promote their career, right? And then what does promoting one's career at the expense of forming a family look like, right? This looks like before an individual goes and decides to start a family, they are first going to make sure that, they're financially stable. They're going to make sure that, they have stable and able to have a family, right? So we think that then we should apply pressure before apply pressure and focus on promoting one's career. Okay, firstly, let me just get to what our side's burden of proof is, right? We need to prove to you to justify why that pressure is necessary. Side negative needs to come and show us how now then pressuring causes more harm than good, which I think is something that first proposition has failed to do, right? Okay. A little bit of a rebut on what they come and tell us. They tell us that, a family is very important because they give you emotional support. They give you the push, the motivation to keep on going on, which you think is very important and helps you become resilient and whatnot. But then look at the burden that it's going to cause on this particular individual if at all we are going to start a family before we are actually, before promoting one's career. We think that it's just going to harm them, especially mentally, right? Look at the people that they are taking care of. They're taking care of a whole family. It's just going to sort of create more burden, because one, you have to be patient with your family, you have to come back home early and whatnot. But you think on our side of the house, when we are literally promoting one's career, once you have a family, you are stable and you are in a position to take care of them and support them, right? And we think then that is the necessary support, right? But then secondly, what do we get for them? We think that they can tell us that there's going to be a risk of economic instability where we are going to have birth rates reduced and aging populations, right? But then we come and tell them, okay, that's what you get on our world. But what we get on their world, right? We are getting a world where we are just going to have increased population, but underdeveloped people, right? Outside of the house to come and tell you, first develop yourself, then develop your country, then develop your nation, and when you are fit, then have a family, so that we have a country that's literally more developed and where we are able to solve problems. Unlike their side of the house, where they are fighting for, you just have children, have more children and increase society and whatnot. They're definitely, on their side of the house is where we get this sort of economic instability, right? But then moving forward, what are the trade-offs of our side of the house? What are the trade-offs we think that it's going to pressuring on promoting one's career would bring about, right? One, we think it's going to bring about drainage and stress and burnout, right? That is what we expected from side proposition, but they didn't bring that up. But on our side of the house, we think that it's a worthy trade-off, and we think it is necessary for long-term stability, right? We're ready to go through this, and we're going to literally prepare. So that in the future, once we are financially stable and whatnot, we are able to take care of our families instead of just having a family and having a bigger number to take care of. And then this is just going to be a very big burden on us, which is literally going to cause more stress, right? Than it would cause in the first place. But moving on forward, we think that we shall we shall lose time to build a family. Oh, sorry, I covered that. Okay, so what principles are our side of the house standing for, right? We're standing for the principle of overall development of society, right? We come and tell you that first build yourself, then build your country and build your career. Then you can make a stable family where you don't have to worry, because you know that one, your child is able to go to school. Two, in case your child gets sick, you're able to take care of them and whatnot. So we think that then that is important. But then secondly, we think that it is important for one, personal growth and achievement, right? We think that first a person needs to big credit, an incentive, an individual incentive probably could have credibility and respect from society, right? So we think that then this promoting their one's career would grow them personally, right? But then thirdly, we come and tell you that we are going to make these people ready to take care of their family. Look at both sides of the house. On this side of the house, we see that my second speaker is going to come and in our case, I believe we have characterized and showed you why this pressure is justified. I beg to end my case.
All right, we thank the first speaker, Negative, for that fine speech. Let us have the second speaker from Affirmative carry on Affirmative's case here. Affirmative 2, whenever you are ready.
Confirming audibility.
Yeah, you are very audible. Whenever you are ready, please start.
Okay, then my speech begins in 3, 2, 1. Mr. Speaker, two heads have always been better than one. A family actually injects vibrant vitality into a person's career by offering unshakable support and boundless emotional energy. The encouragement acts as a powerful fuel, turning challenges into triumphs and infusing each career step with renewed zest. The joy and fulfillment from family life spark creativity and unwavering dedication, transforming personal trials into exhilarating opportunities for growth and success. Mr. Speaker, we are tremendously proud to affirm 3 things then that I'm delivering to you in this speech. 1, a comprehensive rebuttal on the arguments given to us by Team Negative. Then 2, comparative argumentation proving why we win this debate. Then lastly is an impact analysis proving through the metric of uniqueness why we win this debate. Now, on to rebuttal. They come and tell us that we're actually telling people to advance their careers before actually attaining a family. But just like my first speaker actually told you, a career journey is not something that's a short sprint. It's something that's actually long term. Career advancement actually never ends. Each time you achieve something, there's always something more to achieve. That's what to tell people that they're never gonna that they're only gonna form a family after achieving a certain level of success. First of all, Team Negative has actually failed to tell us what level of success this is. Because we actually see that in career development, people keep on advancing and advancing and advancing. There's never an actual end to it. Additionally, they tell us that families are actually going to mentally harm these people. However, we see that families are hubs of love and support. They're not actual burdens. The people are actually going to give you support in whatever you're doing, not causing a burden to you. Now, why do we believe that a world where one has a family backing them up is actually better than one where they do not? 3 things. 1, emotional support. Mr. Speaker, I believe that even side opposition must concede to the fact that human beings are not robots. They are organic life forms in need of emotional support. In a world where someone has a family supporting their career journey, emotional backing is a constant fortifying force. The steady stream of support can transform career challenges into manageable hurdles, reducing stress and enhancing resilience. 2, personal fulfillment. Achievements in a career feel exponentially more rewarding when shared with a family. Each milestone becomes a collective victory, celebrated with genuine joy and pride, rather than alone, like Team Op is actually trying to push for. The shared enthusiasm actually amplifies the sense of accomplishment, in and of itself making success feel more gratifying. 3, practical assistance. In a world where one actually has a family backing them up, we actually see that family members provide practical assistance to the career development of this particular individual. This is done through many ways, but for today, I'm going to give you 2. 1, providing valuable insight on projects or decisions that improve career choices. Because we're actually going to see that this person is going to be able to seek for advice from these family members and actually be able to make better career choices. In this way, they're actually developing more in their career. 2, expanding connections for enhanced career development. For example, say perhaps if I'm in a business and I don't have certain clients or whatnot. Now, if I have a wife who actually has different relatives that are actually interested in my business, simply because I have a family, this has simply expanded my connections, giving me a better scope of view or actually enhancing my career. This is why we believe that a world where someone has a family is actually better than one without. Now, in this debate, the primary and singular stakeholder in this debate is the person in question themselves. This whole debate revolves around whether they benefit more with or without a family. In this, we have won this debate because our side offers exclusive benefits to that individual that do not come from Team O. From our side, a person achieves both vital emotional fulfillment from a family while simultaneously advancing even more in their career. This is clearly seen because we actually have because we see that a person is not someone who only wants money and money and money. A normal human being is someone who wants both economic fulfillment but emotional as well. These are people who are not robots who are just going to work and work and work without nothing else. They actually need emotional fulfillment. Now, based on the characterization that I've already told you, that career development is a long journey. It's not something that's going to happen and then end. It's something that's continuous and continuous. When you reach somewhere, you want to go higher and higher and higher. It's not something that's going to happen and stop, like Team Up is trying to say, that they're going to advance in their career. Then after advancing, they're going to get a family. Career advancement is actually something that's continuous. It's not something that ends at a specific time. So in this way, we actually see that when a person actually gets a family, they're actually still gonna, like I've argued through this speech, they're actually still gonna get career advancement while simultaneously achieving the emotional fulfillment that comes with having a family. Additionally, our side caters for a population necessary for the economy of a nation, which is something we do not get from their side. At the end of it all, we see that that emotional and career fulfillment is vital and essential to the satisfaction of this person. This is why, as team government, we are tremendously proud to actually affirm the motion. It is on these grounds that we believe we have won this debate. Thank you very much.
All right, cool. We thank the second speaker of affirmative for that fine speech. Let's have the second speaker negative, advanced negatives case here. Second negative, whenever you are ready, please take up the stage.
Okay. Can I first confirm audibility?
Yeah, sure. You are audible.
Okay. Okay. So I begin my
You can start.
So I begin my speech in 3, 2, 1. Panel, in a world where so much is happening, in a world where there's a lot changing, and in a world where the population is already high enough, we see that it's more necessary for someone to push themselves to heighten their career before they start to form a family. Panel side negative stands a great stance at winning this debate because we clearly show you that we are creating a world of achievers, a world where families can be formed in homes where the parents have already settled down, the parents are already ready to take care of these children, the parents are able to, so the parents no longer have outside distractions and can give their children and their spouses enough time so that they can form the better families after having reached the necessary height of their career. So I'm going to proceed with a bit of rebuttal and then extend on our case if time does allow. So Pano, what's the major thing we get from side affirmative? Side affirmative brings us ideas that construct around them benefiting the individual more and their career through allowing them to first form a family as they form their career. But as first speaker, side affirmative clearly, as first speaker, side negative clearly showed you the burden that I'll take you.
Okay,
You have
so
15
now,
seconds.
okay, so if career success is so important, how do you then expect people to perform at their level best without the emotional support and stability that family
Okay, your time is
provides?
up. So as side affirmative has clearly showed you, the emotional burden it takes for someone to form a family, not
form a family. Forming a family does not just mean you're gonna wake up and now you have kids and a wife. No, it means first finding someone, first spending time with them, first visiting their home, talking to their parents, understanding them, understanding their parents, understanding their emotions. Then you can move on to marriage. Then you can move on to all the other steps that takes. Caring for the children, making sure they're okay, taking them to school, looking after them, understanding their problems, understanding your spouse's problems. There is a lot to making a family than what side negative tries to bring on the table. Side affirmative tries to frame this forming a family as the most beautiful thing in the world, but they forget that there are actually the detrimental sides to what a family, what emotional the emotional burden that is put on people who have families, as well as trying to build their career stakes. We see that many families of many people who are trying to fight with their lives will be are very much more stressed, are very much like people who have formed families right after graduation from school before actually trying to build their career, actually face way more struggles, way more emotional struggles than the people who don't have families before they build their careers. The pressure that focuses on promoting someone's career aside negative is clearly trying to stress allows these people to first stress their time, to first ensure that they are settled, to first build on their lives. And when they do feel ready, when they do feel like they have reached the necessary parts of their career where they are settled, they can then move on. To actually giving the emotional energy and time it needs to form a family, because families take much more emotional take much more of an emotional toll on people than side affirmative tries to bring in. They bring the idea that humans are not robots, and therefore the emotional support given to them by this family will be very necessary. But they're looking at a world where someone is already in their career, where someone has actually reached somewhere. The family they're trying to paint that actually gives you emotional support as you move on is a family whereby someone has actually reached a point where they're now somewhere and they're just trying to build on where they are. They don't understand. Then they're not looking at a career path whereby someone is just from school, has nothing, knows no one, and is trying to make it through. They bring maybe the idea of maybe the idea of the fact that, oh, if you have a wife, they can help expand your connection. Not the point, expand. This person has already reached. So side negative act is actually acknowledging the fact that you need to first have a career, then form a family. So that while you have now built your career, you're now somewhere, you can have this family, and while you're trying to extend more on it, while you're now extend more, they're just here to back you up, rather than having nothing and starting from scratch, and then also trying to put your energy in stressing throughout this career, while also trying to stress out of protecting this family. So
Okay, cool.
side
Would
negative
like to
clearly shows you
second
that
speaker
we
negative
benefit
for
the
that
people
fine
more
speech.
because we
Let
allow
us
them to
have
first stress the
third
time
speaker
of their lives
negative
before
affirmative to
they
advance
put in the
affirmative
other
case from the third
emotional
speech here.
burden that it takes
So affirmative
to
3, whenever
have
you're ready,
and form a
kindly
family.
unmute and
Thank you.
get into your speech. Is the third affirmative speaker on call? Do we have affirmative 3 on call? Joseph, am I just not audible? Is it like from my end? All right, cool. Do we have the third speaker from affirmative on the call right now? Could you have any other affirmative speaker confirm that? Pardon? Someone is saying something.
The third affirmative speaker has exited. I'm going to try and reach out to her. Yeah.
All right. Also, maybe let's give that like maximum 2 minutes. Where if at all they're not on the call, then it will be very unfortunate. We might want to have an iron. Speech for finals. So let's give it like maximum 2 minutes.
Hello.
Hello, are you the third affirmative speaker?
Yes, I am the affirmative speaker. I'm using my colleague's username because I don't have network connections at my place.
All right, cool. Sure. Please kickstart your speech. We're waiting for you.
Okay.
Right, like right now. Okay, perfect.
Yes, please.
Right, I'm like, you can start. Sure.
So my speech starts in 3, 2, and 1. So panel, we asked Team Negative, Appeal Iowa, we asked them if career success is so important, how do they expect people to perform at their best without the emotional support and stability that family then provides? Something of which they pretended like they had not heard completely about, and they actually ignored and don't answer this question. Finally, we then think this debate cannot actually move on before they actually answer this particular POI. Finally, what do they give us within this particular debate? They tell us the concept that starting a family without an established career means people cannot cater to their family in a false dichotomy that actually assumes that careers and families must actually develop in isolation from one another. But no, we actually think that what is actually in reality, what the one that we as team affirmative then support is that the two can actually grow together with the right support systems in place. We think the notion that one must choose between starting a family and then establishing a career overlooks a possibility of creating a society where both can actually be pursued together. So by implementing such as paid parental leave, things like affordable childcare, things like flexible work arrangements, and job security during family transitions, individuals can then build their careers while starting and supporting a family. So these policies then ensure that starting a family does not then hinder career progress or financial stability in a particular society. Then, within this particular debate, they also raised an argument regarding the thing about they tell us the argument that pressuring people to actually prioritize careers over family leads to things like economic development is fundamentally short-sighted and flawed. When they come to tell us that pressuring people to actually prioritize careers over family then leads to economic development, something which is not actually right, actually answer this particular debate. Because while it may seem that focusing exclusively on careers can boost productivity in the short term, this approach actually overlooks the long-term consequences that can actually come along with undermining things like economic stability and growth. We think that forcing individuals to focus solely on their careers without then balancing influence of family life then leads to things like burnout, things like stress, and ultimately a decline in productivity within the workforce. People are not machines. They need things like emotional support, they need rest, and they need fulfillment outside of work to then perform at their best. A workforce that is overworked and disconnected from things like personal happiness is actually less innovative and less engaged and more prone to things like mistake. This does not then create a sustainable foundation for things like economic growth. Secondly, panel, we tell you that a society that prioritizes things like career over family then risks declining birth rates, leading to an aging population. As the workforce then shrinks, the economy faces things like labor shortages, increased pressure on social security systems, and a reduced consumer base, all of which can actually stay for things like long-term economic growth. So countries facing demographic decline are already struggling with these particular challenges, proving that economic development cannot be sustained without a stable and growing population in a particular area. So on this basis, I actually think their particular arguments are then wrong and are actually answering this particular debate panel. And in this particular debate, we actually bring to you arguments, and they actually fail to engage particular good arguments that we then raise in this particular debate. They fail to engage our stakeholder analysis to break with this particular debate. We think the stakeholder analysis is very crucial in this debate because we then tell how particular stakeholders in this debate are then created from our side of the house. So at the point that they fail to respond to this, I think they actually lose this particular debate then. Panel, still on the battle panel, they come to tell us, and then they raise an argument. they raise an argument about they raise an argument saying that the question that starting a family without an established career means that you cannot cater to their families' needs is actually is in a particular society. So we think that this is something which is actually wrong according to what I gave in earlier. But I'd also like to add that the idea that families cannot be supported without a fully established career also ignores the role of extended social and economic networks. Family often receive support from relatives, community programs, and government assistance during the early years of family formation. So this support allows individuals to meet their family needs while continuing to actually grow professionally. We think additionally, communities and families themselves have a vested interest in ensuring that young families then succeed, often providing resources and help that bridge that gap until careers are actually well established. But no, we actually think we win this debate because first we actually completely engage their case, and then also we actually think that impacts on our side of the debate are then more than we actually see what we actually see from them, because they fail to answer the question of how someone necessarily is going to be working in a particular workforce without things like emotional support and whatever actually happening. So we actually think on that case, then all the impacts actually raised from their side of the debate are actually false and more onto our debate. We actually think all the impacts that Team Negative wants to achieve, things like economic development, things like a better productive workforce, we better achieve to our side of the house. Then we actually think this we actually win this debate.
All right, perfect, cool, sure. So could we have thank the affirmative 3 speaker for that fine speech. Could we have the third speaker from negative extend on negative's case here?
Am I audible?
Yeah, sure, you are very audible.
Okay, let me just start my timer. I'll be taking my POIs in the 3rd minute and reminding the other side you only have 15 seconds or else I move on with the case. Okay, I'll be starting in 3, 2, 1. Panel. Sorry. That's a fresh. 3, 2, 1. Panel. Do consider side of negative that family is really important. Sad somebody, actually has a role in life. Sorry about that. I was getting a bit of echoes from that side. Okay.
It's okay.
Okay, so we tell you that we actually do consider that family is important. It gives somebody, a sense, and they can indeed share this fulfillment at the end of the day, right, Panu? But then the debate then comes to what then is then important for these people, these stakeholders in the debate? Is it the pressure to focus on promoting career at the expense of forming families, or forming families at the expense of actually promoting careers, right, Panu? I'm going to do a bit of rebuttal, then move on to the 3 major clashes, which are on success, where do these people actually get a success more? Secondly, on economic development, and then thirdly, what does particular stakeholder then in the debate need most, right, panel? So now moving on to what a side affirmative brings us. They say, when you have a family, you're going to have support, emotional support. It's going to build resistance. It's going to make you actually feel worthy of the career that you're doing. It's going to be that support to push you when you actually feel out, panel. What we tell you from the other side is that we did not say that we should not have families, right? We tell you that we should first focus on actually promoting one's career, building this career one, because we tell you that it actually builds this sort of financial security. By the time you build a family, you're well versed with how the economy is running and how your career is working, and you're having this sort of growth personally, and you have this financial income, right? Because we tell you that family can be exhausting, right? You have to take care of the family, you have to make sure your children go to school, you have to make sure people are actually being fed at home, and this is a lot of work to actually sort of balance with the careers, right? From the first bit where they tell us, it's a long journey, right? So to sort of balance this kind of work is going to be quite hectic on the person, and in the end of the day, people are going to burn out, people are going to die because they do not because they are struggling to balance between this. And this is why we tell you we would rather focus on building a career, of walking this long journey, right? And then at the end of the day, we then start to form families. Okay, they then bring about that careers are endless. You can't actually know when the career shall end, right, panel? We tell you that building a career, different careers have different limits and where people want to stop, right? As long as it's a career, we look at careers different. Careers are not jobs. Look at this long journey, but we see at the end of the it's actually more worthy, right? Not that before you start a career, you're not really looking into family, but you're looking into a goal or a wish or desire that you would want to actually sort of bring out, right? And this means that we'd rather focus on building a career, building this desire, building your wish, other than starting families, because we tell you it's going to be more hectic. You're going to have, let's say on the economic side, you're going to have a huge population. For example, take a look at Uganda now, a huge population, but you're not having any sort of work moving on in like the community, right? We tell you that the family can be exhausting and there's going to be burnout, right? And burnout, we get a response from affirmative that, oh, there's going to be burnout because this career thing is sort of lengthy, therefore we should have a family to then support you. And from our first speech up to me right now, we tell you that we'd rather focus, and we say that that is sort of justified this person to suffer alone. This builds resilience. This makes a person more independent and to actually grow. So by the time they have a family, they're more capable on how to actually handle challenges. Now, moving on to the clash of the debate. And there's a question on why the stakeholders and the debate gets success, right? On the other side, they tell us when you have a family, it's going to push you and you're going to be even way successful, both personally and professionally, right? But what do we tell you from our side? We tell you that we'd rather focus on building a career because now this brings about way more success. Because by the time you start a family, the family will not just be helping you to actually grow more in your success, because at the right now you've already built your career. You're not just having support in actually to make it make it like a better journey, right? From to make it a better journey, right? They also tell us that when you have this sort of support, you'll be growing personally and like professionally. The second layer, we tell you that when you actually focus on your career before having a family, you'll be even more, you'll grow more before you actually go into this. So moving on to what do these people need most, right? But look at these people that actually need to actually grow, not only economically, but to grow, to be independent and to be successful people in life. And we tell you that this is more on our side, right? We tell you that these people would rather focus on their careers because at the end of the day, you're going to have a sort of financial security, you're going to have a resilience, and you're going to be more independent than actually when you start a family, then you go into a career. We say this is also sort of hectic because you have to, have a burden of actually caring for a family, also a burden to actually progress in your career. And this is why on our side, we tell you that our stakeholders would rather move to this kind of world where they focus on their career and then they can have a family. This will enable them to actually grow their families to their perfect dreams. But then secondly, to have this sort of a financial security for their families. So at the end of the day, both things are achieved. You have achieved your career, but as well, your family is growing well. We do not want to see a world where
All right, time
people
is up,
having
Speaker.
do not have egg to rest,
All right,
and
cool.
this is why we.
All right, thank you for that speech. Okay, I'd like to thank the third speaker negative for that fine speech. Now on to the particular reply speeches. Each reply speech is 2 minutes, and I will be doing that same timing, but you are rather encouraged to time from wherever you are. I only come in like to interrupt when like time is really out. So let's have the reply speaker from negative to advance or to close negative's case, and then we shall have the reply speaker from affirmative. So negative reply speaker, whenever you are ready. Okay, do we have either -1 or -2, -1 or -2 on the call, so they can be able to like give a reply speech to extend on the case in 2 minutes? Team negative, team negators, are we going to be able to give a reply speech, or are we giving up on that particular right for these finals? All right. Joseph, I want to confirm audibility, whether you are in position to hear me. Maybe that there's like a problem from my end. All right, perfect then. Cool. So could we have the reply speaker? Is -1 on the call? Just so I'm sure. Okay. Is -1 on the call? All right. Do we have -2 on the call too? Right. Maybe for starters, do we have -1 on the call? I just want to give now 2 minutes from now in case of any sort of like network errors. So at 55, if there's no -2 on the call, we shall then just have to either close the round or proceed to hearing affirmative's reply speech, or the same. So maybe Daniela, if you can hear me, are your other teammates on the call too? Like, are there Discord accounts on the call?
Yes.
All right. Wow. Have an or -2, then we might proceed. Okay, so this is like the last chance. Do we have a reply speech from Team Negative?
I'm
Someone
very,
is saying
very
something.
yes. Yes, I will
All
try
right.
and do it. So I had left very earlier.
All right, then.
Let me do my
Perfect.
best.
Okay, cool, sure. Whenever you are ready, you have 2 minutes to give a reply speech. Here.
All right. Okay, I believe I can be heard, so I'm going to begin my speech in 3, 2, 1. Panel. This house opposes the pressure to focus on promoting one's career at the expense of forming a family. Panel, why does side opposition believe that we take this debate in the end of the day? Because one, we have been able to prove our burden of proof, which was initially to justify why the pressure is necessary, right? Why the pressure is necessary in this particular debate. And we have been able to do that, right? I'm going to do this is why we have shown you, right? One, we come and tell you that, okay, this pressure is going to be necessary one for overall development of society, right? What did side opposition bring to us in this debate, in the debate, right? They come and tell us that, oh, we need family support in order to then make these people motivated in order to move forward. But then opposition, we come and tell you that before you actually have a family, then first make sure that you are financially stable in order to cater for this family, right? We think that it's going to be we told you that it's going to be a heavier burden if at all we are first going to form a family. We understand and we accepted that families are important for emotional support, but then we come and tell you that then we are ready to trade off this emotional support for better financial stability, right? So that once we have a family, we are then able to like sort of provide for them, and we think that then that is more important, right? Okay, what did we get from side negative, right? When I was still around, we got from them that, oh, on our side of the house, we are then going to have a risk of economic instability. They brought up an idea that, oh, they are going to be reduced birth rates, right? They came and told us that, oh, they are going to be aging population. But then, panel, would we rather have that, right? Aging population and reduced birth rates of developed people, right? And like a better, like a better nation? Or would we rather then have what their side of the house is fighting for, have like a wider population, but then the population of underdeveloped people, like people in the poor countries, not necessarily developed and cannot literally feed from themselves, right? Okay, we
I'd like to
came and
thank the
told you
speaker
also
for
that,
that
oh, on our side of the
reply
house, we think
speech. Hey, speaker,
I
time
believe
is up.
position takes
All right. Okay, perfect. So we thank the reply speaker from negative side. Could you have the reply speaker from the farmer side close the farmer's case here?
Audibility, can you all hear me?
Sure. Whenever you're ready, please start in 2 minutes.
Okay, then my speech begins in 3, 2, and 1. Mr. Speaker, this debate in and of itself is already ours for the taking. In our second speech, we clearly showed you that career advancement is not something that happens for a short period of time and ends, which is something they didn't engage us on. Career advancement never really ends. It's like climbing a mountain. When you reach the top of one peak, you simply see another one awaiting you. This is clearly seen in the status quo. Look at the richest man in the world. Look at Elon Musk, at the peak of success, and yet he still wakes up at 3 a.m. every morning to go work till 11 p.m. in the night just to grow his company more and more. Therefore, in this never-ending journey of career advancement, there is overwhelming need for emotional support. Friedrich Nietzsche, a popular Russian philosopher, once said, "The only difference between man and machine is love." Mr. Speaker, these people are human beings. They are human beings with a heart that yearns for love, that yearns for a family. How can we stand and deny them this? They need emotional fulfillment, love. They need the sound of laughter in their homes. They need a partner to continuously tell them that they are enough, to love and support them. From our side of the house, we have a happy person with a loving family, filling the void in their hearts, while simultaneously encouraging and motivating them in their fields of work. We have a person who is actually looking forward to the end of the day, while from their side, we actually have an empty shell, not even qualifying to be called a person anymore. Because how can they be called a human when they don't even have the basic necessity that every human being has? When they don't have anyone to love them, when they do not know what they are working for. This is why we believe that we have actually won this debate. Because at the end of the day, it is not principally justified to deny someone the very essence that makes them what they are, than to deny them the love that comes from a family. Mr. Speaker, we are proud to affirm.
All right, thank you for that fine speech. This, ladies and gentlemen, concludes the finals for our Debate Cranes Community Cup. So because finals are done, I would request maybe Joseph to hold the stream, and every single person on the call, apart from the two for. Okay, so could we have everyone else leave the call apart from Sineliso, and then Voi, could we have every other person leave the call? If possible, Joseph, maybe if you have administrative rights, you could help me remove others too.